know what my father was, what he did. I know the Mad King earned his name.
Burn them all! Kill every Targaryen I get my hands on.
Everyone who isn't us is an enemy.
Sir Ilyn, bring me his head.
We are Ironborn. We take what is ours. The Lannisters send their regards.
You don't think I'd let you marry that beast, do you?
I now proclaim Cersei of the House Lannister, protector of the Seven Kingdoms.
Lannister, Targaryen, Baratheon, Stark, Tyrell. They're all just spokes on a wheel. This one's on top, then that one's on top, and on it spins, crushing those on the ground.
The same thing is coming for all of us. There is only one war that matters. The Great War. And it is here.
Congratulations for revealing the premiere date for Season 7. I can personally assure you it will be worth the wait.
What's up, everybody? We got to talk about this Game of Thrones premiere date. There's all kinds of stuff happening this week. There's a new round of the Game of Thrones giveaway. I'm giving away the enhanced editions of the books. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. So if you never thought that you would sit around watching a block of ice melt on the internet, you just did it. And even though the stream broke a couple times, they actually, surprise, surprise, posted a trailer at the end of it instead of just announcing the premiere date. So they went way above and beyond. And the really cool thing about this is that it actually teases a lot of Dragonstone stuff. So they make these dragons look like dragonglass. It's almost like a dragonglass version of a teaser trailer. It opens with Daenerys acknowledging the Mad King. I know what he was, I'm not going to become him, because she's trying to take the Iron Throne and become the new ruler of Westeros. So a lot of people are worried that she's just going to do the exact same thing. How is she going to be different from her father? Even Dan and Dave tease that the way they have her written is that she has a little bit of that fire in her. So there is a little bit of the Mad King in her. Even though if you believe that she's going to rise to be one of the main antagonists of the series, she will ultimately not be the big bad. She'll just be the big bad for a couple different storylines like Cersei's. The thing I love about the way they morph this too is that it morphs for the different house sigils. You go to the dialogue of Robert Baratheon, I'll kill every Targaryen I get my hands on. The progression here is obviously based on the narration, but it also tells the story of what's happened on the show so far. So you see the lion attacking the stag, the story of how they killed Robert Baratheon and sort of took power for House Lannister, even though technically Cersei is still a Baratheon. It's just like the sad lament is the slow fall of the House of Baratheon, even though Gendry is still around. You get the Joffrey hat tip, how he had Ned Stark beheaded back in Season 1, then Balon Greyjoy as he rises up, the War of the Five Kings gets started. The really gruesome Roose Bolton Red Wedding quote, the Lannisters send their regards, is the lion starts to eat this dragonglass direwolf, the vines from the sigil of House Tyrell wrapping around the lion's paw. You didn't think I'd actually let you marry that person. Talking about the Queen of Thorns during Season 4 engineering the Purple Wedding in concert with a couple of other people, including Littlefinger. Then the effortless flow into this giant wildfire explosion consuming the Tyrell sigil from the Season 6 finale. I now proclaim Cersei Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. And then as it sort of morphs into the dragon wrapping around all of the other sigils, that really cool Daenerys quote where she talks about how all the great houses fight and war with each other, one's on top, then the other's on top. I'm going to break that wheel. Then as this dragonglass wheel is broken, the Jon Snow quote, the same thing is coming for all of us, and then morphs into that Children of the Forest pattern that the Night King keeps drawing with bodies. Such a great way to end the teaser too, as it pans out and morphs into the Night King's blue eye. So the really important stuff, the date is 7/16, meaning the 16th of July. So what's going to happen is this is basically falling after they finish the John Oliver season, after most of HBO's other series are done. So Game of Thrones will rule the entire summer in the build up to that first episode dropping. They're going to be promoting it so much that it'll just take over everything else even when it's not on the air. So the added bonus of having to wait this extra time for it to get here is that you have to wait less time for season 8 to start, because it sounds like because of the way they're filming and winter coming that they'll start production in September, meaning that the schedule next year will be almost the exact same as it was this year. So instead of waiting a year and a half to get new Game of Thrones, you'll be waiting like 8 months. So it'll be way less of a bummer waiting for that final season. And they even said that there might be some extra episodes that they'll tack on. They're still determining the final episode count for season 8. But touching base with all the characters at the beginning of season 7, so we have Daenerys that is sailing for Dorne. She'll mass her fleet there. She has the Tyrells. Basically, it's the Targaryen restoration. So it's the forces of Dorne, some of the other smaller houses of Westeros, but mostly it's the Tyrells and the Greyjoy fleet. So there's just like a couple main forces, even though I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of other banners in there. Like Jon Snow, when he was preparing for the Battle of the Bastards, they were trying to get help from all the lesser houses up in the north. So you saw a lot of different banners fighting for his side, fighting for the Boltons. It'll be the same thing for Daenerys in the forces of the Crown as they face off against each other. And then while that's all going on in Dorne, you have the stuff that's going on over at the Citadel with Samwell, the brand new Maester character that I explained. I'll link that video at the end of this because it's going to be really exciting. Most of the technical information that we need to learn will come from that storyline. Then you have Cersei in the Crown trying to cement her hold on the people. It sounds like she's going to be vicious, so there'll be some rebellion that she'll have to put down, just being more like the Mad King, the way that Daenerys says that she's not going to be like that. So if you really like watching Cersei be cruel to people, it is going to be so much fun for you during season 7. And then you have Arya up in the Riverlands still. It'll be interesting to see how long she sticks around there, but she just killed Walder Frey, so they'll deal with the aftermath of that. Then you have the Brotherhood that's slowly heading north with the Hound. They'll eventually reach the North Winterfell, and you have all the stuff as they prepare for the War for the Dawn. So Jon Snow is mostly focusing on the ultimate threat, but Sansa will probably get involved with the more practical day-to-day stuff, because even though there's this big threat, most of the people in the kingdom have no idea what's going on with the White Walkers and probably would not believe you if you told them. So a big part of season 7, one of the big threads, is in proving to everyone else that there is a threat that they need to face, because beyond the people that Jon Snow's been fighting with for the last season or so, there aren't a whole lot of people that have actually seen a White Walker. So most of the Lords of the North and all their people are really just concerned with their own business right now. Like the Boltons were terrible. They wanted a Stark in Winterfell. They got that. So unless you can prove to them that there's some greater threat, then they're just going to go back to their lives and you'll lose your army. But they did this really interesting thing tying plot threads together at the end of season 6, whereby you have the Ravens of the Citadel and like the smoke rising out here showing that winter had begun. The Maesters disseminate information. So I'll be interested to see how they touch on Samwell's storyline as they sort of catch all the other characters around Westeros up on what's going on. So Jon Snow has no idea what's going on with Daenerys' fleet way down south, but someone will eventually have to send him a raven, so you'll see him reading about that, like, oh, this Targaryen threat, we should probably do something about this. But that sounds more like Littlefinger Sansa's stuff. They seem like more big picture politicking people. Jon Snow's eyes are mostly turned towards the Wall and north of the Wall. And then you have Bran Stark that's north of the Wall too. I was originally going to do a video about him till they dropped this, but the thing that Isaac Hempstead Wright was saying is they shot his scenes really early on, so there's not going to be a ton of Bran, but it'll mostly take place at the Wall. And if they're going to end in some big climactic moment that'll make you crazy for season 8 episode 1, it'll be the Night King arriving at the Wall with his army. They might actually push him crossing through the Wall to the beginning of season 8, but anything could happen. There are going to be 7 episodes in season 7, so there will be 0 filler, and there's also reports that each of the episodes will be an extra 20 minutes long. So imagine if a normal episode is around 52 to 53 minutes long. Just imagine it almost being 50% longer for each of the 7 episodes. Now, they're all not exactly the same length. Some episodes are always a little bit longer than others, especially the big action set pieces like Battle of the Bastards, but just expect more in that vein. So if you want more Game of Thrones, you will totally be getting it, even though it seems like we're getting fewer episodes. There's still the same amount of content. But let me know what you guys are most hype about, and if there's any bonus videos you guys want me to do before Sunday, just let me know. There's going to be a big Game of Thrones panel at South by Southwest. They might show off some more footage. Because they dropped this teaser, it seems like they're ramping up to more big stuff, so there'll be more trailers coming in the next couple months. But what's going to happen later is there's a whole bunch of other stuff dropped, so I'll try to get through it as fast as possible. While you wait for that, click here to learn all about that brand new character they're bringing on in Season 7, and you can click here for the other teasers that they just dropped. Thank you so much for watching. Let's high five. I'll see you guys in the next video.